Call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Harlingen City Commission to order. And this time, I'm going to remain seated and lead an invocation so that hopefully you can hear me through this microphone. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many blessings of this life. We especially thank you at this time of our season as we give thanks for your Son and Savior, Jesus Christ, and for all other religions and that have similar teachings at this time of year. We ask you to be with those who are in any trouble, need, sickness, or any other adversity, including those who are suffering from the tragedy of the shooting in Connecticut and those who are still recovering from the effects of Hurricane Sandy. We ask that you be with them and all others and those in our own community who continue to be in need and need help. They may count on you and your guidance. We ask that this commission receive your guidance and wisdom to make the right and just decisions for all of the residents of this wonderful community. In your name we pray. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of trying to save the taxpayers some attorney's fees and get some of our attorneys out of here sooner than otherwise, I'm going to kind of skip around on our agenda right now. And I really think that we can dispense with the item 16C, which is the executive session under Project Uncle. Just go straight to those action items, 17 and 18. And with your permission then, our attorney, or the EDC's attorney, who is working on those issues, Bill Roundtree, is here. So I'm going to go to item 17, consider to take action to approve and adopt a resolution of the City of Harlingen, Texas, consenting to the execution of a collateral assignment and agreement between Reyna Development Limited and Sam's Real Estate Business Trust, authorizing the mayor to execute and the city secretary to attest to any documents relating to such consent, containing various findings and provisions relating to the subject. This action would just allow Project Uncle to step into the shoes of Reyna with respect to the development agreement to complete the agreement. We just are consenting to that. Is that a fair description, Mr. Roundtree?
Yes, it is.
Is there a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we take action to approve and adopt the resolution. Said resolution.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 18, consider to take action to approve a collateral assignment agreement by Reyna Family Development Limited, a Texas Limited Partnership to Sam's Real Estate Business Trust, Delaware Statutory Trust, for the purpose of completing the construction of Phase 1 public project improvement in accordance with the terms of the Economic Development Agreement with the City of Harlingen.
Mayor, I make a motion that we take action to approve the collateral assignment agreement.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. I want to thank Bill because he had to kind of jump in here at the last minute on some last minute requirements that were being asked of by Project Uncle, and he's done a great job for us in this project. So thank you for reviewing it, making sure that it all met our needs as well, and for being here. Thank you. Because Mr. McCaney is trying to, he's driving back to San Antonio tonight. I'd like to give him the benefit of getting a head start on the road, and so I'd like to go to item 16. Go ahead and take up both these other executive session items at the same time. 16 16A, pursuant to subchapter 50, 551, subchapter D, DTCA Government Code, section 551.171, consultation with city attorney and or outside legal counsel to seek legal advice regarding the City of Harlingen, Texas versus Union Pacific Railroad Company and Rio Valley switching clause number 2011 CCL 115, County Court of Law, and discuss possible settlement negotiation, and also to discuss the consultation with Charles Lee versus the City of Harlingen, clause number 13-12-213, and Court of Appeals 13th Judicial District, to discuss possible settlement negotiation. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. We'll actually take up item B first, so we'll call Mr. Hubbard in when we're done with Mr. McKinney. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go in, the commission's going to go into this room over here and discuss the matters privately with our attorneys, and we hope to be, I hope we can be back out here in 20-30 minutes. Thank you. We are out of executive session on item 16B. We are in recess on executive session item 16A. We'll be returning after we take up the other matters. Oh, we need to. Okay. All right. So item 1 is a public announcement of events. Public announcement of events. Are there any public announcements? Any other events?
Big one there. Runoff elections Friday. Please open.
That's right.
7-7. Let's come out and vote.
Runoff election on Friday. Any other announcement of public events?
Mayor, can I ask that we go ahead and conclude item 19? Get it done. Can we go ahead and conclude item 19?
Well, I think we talked about that, talked about passing that in executive session. I like to pass item 19.
Mayor, I just don't feel in terms of transparency, not taking public action on that.
Item 19, consider to take action to authorize the city attorney or assigned counsel to pursue settlement negotiations regarding Charles E. Lee versus City of Harlingen.
Mayor, just out of transparency, to be aware, I'd like to make a motion that we take action to authorize the city attorney or assigned counsel.
Has the majority of the commission already decided this issue? Outside of the public?
I'm not aware of that, but I just want to make the
I
motion.
have 3 commissioners who signed a request item for this item before Friday, on Friday.
Signing the request item is a requirement of the city charter. It doesn't indicate whether a commissioner is voting one way or the other.
Against 3 commissioners talking about putting this item on the agenda.
But in the item on the agenda does not say one is in favor of or.
Well, perhaps.
Mayor, my motion stands. I'd like to take action.
Is there a-
Motion on it.
All right, is there a second? Here, no second. Item dies.
Thank you.
Item 1. Let me go back to the welcome. I never gave a welcome. I'd like to welcome all of you here tonight. Thank you for coming out for a city commission meeting. Sorry that we had to make you wait out there for a while. I want to wish, on behalf of the commission, wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a happy holidays. I hope that you have a great holiday coming up. We had an opportunity last Friday night to recognize a lot of our employees who we are thankful for. We had, I think, over 127 employees are recognized with longevity awards of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 135-year plaque. So we're grateful for the employees, and we wish all of them, all of our staff, a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday. All right, going on to item 2, the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3, consent agenda. Is a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So Mayor.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 4, public hearing to consider an ordinance on first reading to amend the City of Harlingen subdivision ordinance 07-28, Section 3, plats, submittal, and review procedures by creating a section that addresses lot splits.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. This amendment was drafted to address those cases where a property owner was proposing to develop one lot and part of an adjacent lot to the subdivision. This would be an example here if a person owns this lot.
Can you all hear him? No. That mic's not hot or something. Try the other mic. Oh, or is that just, no.
Okay. Again, Mayor, this amendment was drafted to address those cases where a property owner is proposing to develop a lot and part of an adjacent lot. Under the current regulations, they will be required to replat the subdivision for that particular property. This proposed amendment would exempt the property owner from having to replat the lot. It would save the property owner time as well as the cost from having to replat the lot for basically just a lot line adjustment. Public hearing was conducted by the P&Z Commission. Staff and P&Z Commission recommended approval of the request.
Okay. I'll open the public hearings. Public hearing. Is there anyone who'd like to speak for or against this ordinance? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing and ask the city attorney to read the caption.
An ordinance amending the subdivision ordinance number 07-28, section 3, plats, submittal, and review procedures, creating a category which addresses lot splits, providing for publication and ordaining other matters related to the foregoing.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 5 is a public hearing to consider an ordinance on first reading for a specific use permit request to allow a bar lounge in the general retail GR district located at 1105 South Ham Lane, varying legal description of 3.4740 acres out of Block 33, Stewart Place Survey, 139, 297, 298, applicant Daniel Mitchell.
Mayor, Commissioners, the applicant is requesting a specific use permit to allow a bar lounge at a 2,900 square foot building located on Tam Lane, north of Business 83. This is the subject property. Generally, the hours of operation would be Wednesday to Sunday from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. This establishment in the past has previously been used as a bar lounge, and then prior to the bar lounge use, it was used as a bar and grill restaurant in the name of Cactus Jack's, and then prior to that, it was used as a barbecue restaurant in the name of Homer's Backyard Barbecue. This request was reviewed by the Health Department, the Building Inspections Department, the Fire Prevention Department, the Police Department. The Health Department, Fire, and the Building Department had no objections to the request. The Police Department also reviewed the request and recommended that the applicant provide adequate lighting, a licensed security guard, surveillance video, as well as that the applicant meet with the Police Department on a monthly basis to address any issues that may arise on the establishment. They also provided a report from the applicant's previous establishment on Lewis Lane, as well as the proposed site for the report. The public hearing was conducted by the P&Z Commission, and the affected property owners within a 200-foot radius were notified. Staff didn't receive any objections to the request. Staff and P&Z Commission are recommending approval subject to the permit being limited to 1 year, and the applicant would be required to apply for renewal for the specific use permit, as well as subject to the applicant maintaining the proper state permits, maintaining the required parking, providing surveillance video, and maintaining a 30-day retention of the video, as well as providing licensed security guard, and then maintaining compliance with the appropriate departments. I'll take any questions. The representatives from the establishment are also present for any questions.
Yeah, the question, what comes first? Does somebody do this and then apply to the TABC? Or do they get clearance from TABC and then go this way?
They could apply for the TBC at the same time they're applying for this, but this request would have to be approved first before their TBC license is approved.
Another question. Some of the information that was provided for our review, including some of the reports and feedback by staff, particularly the police department, was all of that forwarded over to the planning and zoning prior and as included in their decision making?
Yes, it was.
Had a couple of things that I saw in that information. You said the applicant is here.
Representatives from the applicant are present.
Well, there was some information that was included in some of the reports by police staff that dealt with the applicant being an owner of another prior establishment.
Correct.
And that establishment, there was several incidences. I mean, everybody, we get reports on the total number of incidences at establishments. But a couple of things that I saw in there to include an instance where an officer tried to make an inspection of the property while it was with patrons inside. The officer was locked out for a period of time, and he wasn't allowed entrance to conduct an inspection. There was another incident where there were several patrons cited for consuming after hours. There was some information provided by the officer that shows that there was an instance back in, I think it was 2012, where the applicant, the allegation was he was selling to minors, and he ultimately surrendered his license to TBC. And there was, in the report that the PD provided, there was also some information that it appeared as though the applicant in his previous place of business wasn't taking the measures necessary to address the concerns of the police department. That information was provided to the planning and zoning.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay, any other
Yeah,
questions?
on the information that Commissioner Steele was referring to in terms of the applicant having another business, did that business have its SUP revoked by the city for not complying with the requirements of the PD?
No, it did not.
Do you know what the cause of the business closure was?
To my knowledge, no, I do not know why it was closed. I know he's sold the property since then, and it's under a different owner.
So at that time, HPD did not feel that they had violated the laws or the requirements of the SUP enough to ask the city to revoke that.
Not to my knowledge, they didn't.
I believe on that particular issue, we did give them a time limit, correct, on that last SUP on the forward business?
I believe it was when he was going to expand that business, he was going to have a time frame to address those issues with the parking, the landscaping, but he never expanded the business at that time.
Let me ask Commissioner Castillo, so you're saying they lost their license?
Well, I'm going by what staff provided, but I think in that information it stated a general statement that the applicant had surrendered his license to TBC. It appears in lieu of them taking administrative action for that violation of selling to minors.
And do we know how often the somebody revoke their license to the TABC? Does that happen now and then or all the time?
I don't think
I couldn't answer that question.
My main concern, I guess, is that it appears as though staff has reviewed it and it was recommended for approval. I just wanted to make sure that's noted. And I think the request for the SUP was staff is recommending for a year.
Correct.
If I was going to entertain approving that, I'd want that a lot shorter. And I know there's been some conditions that police have placed where they want to requirements that they would meet with them on a monthly basis to make sure that there is compliance.
Correct.
I'm all for business in the community, I just want to make sure we go about that responsibly. But I think we need to help staff to make sure they're able to do their jobs. I know it's not the position of the police department, nor should it be, for them to be the policy decision makers as far as community standards. That's our job. But I think if we work together on this, we can have successful businesses, but they can also operate responsibly.
Has anyone contacted the TABC on this applicant's history?
I believe that was done through, I guess, through the police department.
You're planning its own.
Right.
Well, the fact is that we approved the SUP, they still have to get through the TABC.
Right, correct.
Permitting
Right,
process, and it would be at that time whether they would allow or disallow them
right.
to sell alcohol. So if they're past inequities on them to go to the TABC, then they can continue the business.
Correct.
Okay, can we go to the public hearing now? Item A is a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who'd like to speak for or against this specific use permit? Okay, if you want to speak, step up to the podium and state your name and your, where you live, your address.
Yolanda Shawfit, Yolanda Shawfit, 258 Altas Palmas. This man has been in business for a long time, and sometimes, people make mistakes. I'm not saying he's the only one that makes mistakes. If he's crossing the T's and dotting the I's, and it has to be approved by you before it approves by the liquor place, because of course they're going to sell liquor, then I think we should give him an opportunity. After all, he is a taxpayer, and he's not in prison, so he hasn't gotten there yet, and we're not hoping that he will, or any other. But my concern is, are you allowing a lot of the businesses, bar businesses, are you treating them the same? Because I'll tell you what, this will open up a door box if they're being treated different. This man has a right to have a business. He's a taxpayer. He's trying to go about by the law. He's dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and I think you should give him an opportunity. Thank you.
I think you're right.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak for or against this specific use permit? Is there anyone? Hearing no one, I'll close the public hearing and ask that the city go out of B, which is to consider and take action to approve and adopt an ordinance on first reading for the above mentioned specific use permit, and I ask the city attorney to read the caption.
An ordinance amending the zoning ordinance number 07-27, the City of Harlingen to issue a specific use permit to Daniel Machaca to allow a bar lounge in a general retail district located at 1105 South Tam Lane, bearing a legal description of 3.474 acres out of Block 33 Stewart Place subdivision survey 139/297/298. Subject to one, the specific use permit will be limited to 1 year, and the applicant will be required to apply for renewal. 2, maintaining the required off-street parking spaces. 3, obtaining and maintaining the proper permits from the state. 4, providing and maintaining video surveillance of all entrances and exits, and maintain a 30-day retention of the video. 5, provide adequate lighting on the premises. 6, provide a licensed security guard. And 7, comply with requirements administered by the planning, building inspections, fire prevention, and police departments, providing for publication of related other matters related to the foregoing.
So look for approval, man.
Is there a second? Well, did you want to make a change?
Just a request on that. I think if we could make that for a 6-month SUP, I think that would be a responsible thing to do. And I think that would give the applicant the opportunity to show the city, and we want them to succeed, but I think the 6-month period would be beneficial to both, to the whole community as a whole.
Mayor, I'd like to add that we waive renewal fee. We go with the 6 months, but we waive the renewal fee.
Was that a,
I'll amend my motion to allow for the 6 months.
okay. Has anybody seconded it?
Second.
All right, seconded as
As
amended
modified.
to 6 months, no renewal fee. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? carries. Item 6, consider to take action to approve and adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to seek grant funding in the amount of $82,675 or to accept any funding award from the Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Ranking Division, the City of Harlingen Police Department to allocate additional law enforcement staff on an overnight basis to deter crime and improve border security with the City of Harlingen. Chief?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Actually, the item is to do just that. The Texas Department of Public Safety is offered to award that much money, and we just want you to be able to seek it and get it.
We appreciate trying to get grants so to improve public safety. Is there a motion to?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the second resolution.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 7, consider to take action to approve an interlocal cooperation agreement between Rio Grande Valley Communications Group and City of Harlingen for the use of the RGDCG's megahertz radio system for government functions. Chief?
Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, what I'm presenting is to join the interlocal agreement with the communication group. What this will allow is all 9 tower sites in the valley to be able to talk to each other through this one core switch. It doesn't cost us anything to join the group. There will be a cost later as we start putting radios on the switch, but there's nothing to do it at this time. My big concern on this right now is that there's no, Harlingen doesn't plan on putting many radios on it right now. We probably put non-public safety. Public safety radios will not go on it until after the consoles are replaced at the comm center. So there may be some non-public safety radios going on, but this would allow everyone to communicate from South Padre all the way to Rio Grande City seamlessly back to your own dispatch center. So staff is recommending approval.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the interlocal agreement.
Yeah, second that.
Any discussion?
And this is for fire only, or fire and police? All emergencies?
All city departments.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 8, consider to take action to approve the contract with the Development Corporation of Harlingen, Inc. and RGB Lead for $37,500 for fiscal year 2012-13.
Mayor, I make a motion that we take action to approve the contract with the Development Corporation of Lee.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 9, consider to take action to authorize staff to proceed with 2 demonstration projects to install artificial grass at traffic island located along Commerce Street where it intersects with Taft directly from the HB grocery store on Commerce. It's a playground area located beside the
This one forward. Yeah. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Sinlon is a company out of Houston, Texas that came down to our city and has offered to do 2 demonstration projects using their product. It's an artificial turf. The first that we're proposing to do is a traffic median on Commerce Street at the intersection of Taft. It's right in front of the HEB. You can see it there on the screen. And we'd like to do is do artificial grass in the center and a border of pavers, red pavers, similar to what we submitted with the grant application to TxDOT. To create some buzz about what we're trying to do in the city. The second demonstration project that they're willing to do for us, you go to the next one, Charlie, is a playground. They have this product that is recycled dashboards, and they make a foam that it creates a base for the playground that meets ADA and fall requirements. If a child falls, it's a soft landing for them. And on top of that, they'll use the artificial grass. So you'll see a grass finish, but underneath is this soft foam base. And both products will cost Sinlon about $40,000. They're willing to contribute to the economy, well, here the city. The city's portion of that would be about $10,000, $11,000 total. And our portion would be to prep the traffic median and to purchase the pavers. And on the playground, we would do a drainage improvement to make sure that area drains off and runs off into the street. We are recommending approval that we move forward with both demonstration projects. We think they're good projects. We think it'll create a lot of buzz, especially considering the fact that we did submit that grant application and they won't award those grants until July. So we have some time.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the,
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Levinich. Is there a second?
Second.
Yes, now, question.
Yes, question. Is this, a few months ago, we had some slides on some projects from Las Vegas.
Yes.
Is that a result of that? Is this the same?
This is the same type of scenario, yes, sir.
So this will give us just let us actually see
It's a
what that
gift.
product would do if we could,
And Terry Strickland with Ceylon is here also, and we appreciate them offering to do this, and
okay.
we think it'll be nice.
I think, yeah, it's a great idea. It really is part of what we're really trying to do to improve the appearance of the community and beautify the city, and this gives us another option to do that. We get to see this up close. So I appreciate, we appreciate you coming to us with a demonstration project, and we really are interested in this.
Mayor, I'd like to just add, since we are talking about the soccer complex, that staff work on the grass is definitely noticeable. I was out there this weekend, this past weekend for a tournament. We had some teams from Victoria, McAllen, and it was definitely a lot easier to see that they were up to par more than they were when these teams come in from out of town to play on. So the sugar cane compost is definitely working. We just need to continue to do that. And you're talking about the playground out there, I think just so people know right now we're using some rubber chunks, something for fall protection.
Yeah, this will be recycled dashboards.
Yeah, I know what we're going to, but right now, what are we using?
Oh, it's just a mulch,
Yeah,
just a wood mulch.
is kicked out of there.
It creates a mess.
Yeah, it creates a mess. This is definitely an improvement.
And after a while, you remove the fall, you don't meet the fall requirements, and this will stay in place.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. All right, thank you. Item 10, consider and take action to approve and adopt an ordinance on first reading designated no parking zone along both sides of the rear access road and easement in Parkview Terrace subdivision.
This request was presented to the staff with concerns with accessibility for emergency vehicles, service vehicles, and residents in the immediate area. We did an on-site inspection and determined a need for it. We sent out, the access road is approximately 20 feet by 480 feet in length. We did send out about 20 notices to the adjacent property owners and received no comments. Staff recommends approval of no parking zone.
Ask the city attorney to read the caption, please.
An ordinance to establish a no parking zone located on both sides of the rear access road and easement at Parkview Terrace subdivision for a length of 480.60 linear feet, authorizing the towing of vehicles parked in said no parking zone, establishing a penalty not to exceed $200 for violation of the provisions of the ordinance, providing for publication and ordaining other matters related to the foregoing.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Item 11, consider and take action to accept or reject bids for the general fund street overlay project under bid number 2013-03 and award contract to overlay Lincoln Avenue from Dixieland to Longport Drive.
This overlay project will consist of base repair caliche work and relaying the asphalt. On December 4th, staff received a total of 6 bids. All bids met the bid submittal requirements. The lowest bid for the project was submitted by R&R Paving in the amount of $374,444.44. Staff recommends that we accept the lowest bid submitted by R&R Paving.
Mayor, I make a motion that we take action to accept the staff recommendation.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Item 12, consider to take action to approve and adopt an ordinance
That's Dan, I'm going.
on first reading to amend Chapter 95, Streets and Sidewalks, Speed Hump Program to accept all elementary and middle school speed zones located in residential areas from having to comply with eligibility requirements and provide a majority vote approval by the Harlingen City Commission to request a speed hump in a particular location without having to comply with ordinance petition requirements.
Mayor, I'm going to speak to this item, Commissioner Trevino, and I felt like that we needed to make it easier to get speed bumps. We've had some incidents, speed humps, we've had some incidents in school zones that is not just related to speeding, but also distracted drivers. And we, obviously, the commission knows that we've been working on this ordinance through 2012, earlier in February, we modified it even to allow speed humps in school zones. But the threshold of being eligible was predicated on speeding, and we determined that through doing traffic counts, that wasn't always the case. You couldn't always qualify speed humps based on speeding. And we determined now that we need to go ahead and make some changes to make it easier. So we're proposing that we make these changes to the speed hump ordinance so that we can get some better protection in these areas.
Is there a reason why, like, it's only elementary and middle schools?
Well, we felt like that the younger kids are less attentive when they're walking about the campus or getting to and from the campus, and that most high school kids would be more instinctive when it comes to automobile traffic, and that they'd be less likely to succumb to incidents in the roadways or in the crosswalks. However, saying that both the high schools do have speed humps in the parking lots, so maybe the school district thinks that they too need to have more protection. So we can modify this to include all school zones in the city. In fact, I would go ahead and make a motion that we approve this with that consideration to allow speed humps in high schools.
You're saying speed bumps in the high school zone?
To allow, yes, just to include all school zones.
Because the death rate for kids 16 to 18 in automobiles is through the roof.
Yeah, most of them are in school zones, but however, this is to protect pedestrians more than it is kids, teenagers driving.
We got any kind of feedback from the school district yet on this? Are they aware of this?
No, they're not aware of it as of right now. We do expect to talk to them because we'd like them to partner with us for the cost of these speed humps.
That's where I was going.
So,
Yeah, well, just to kind of set a perspective, we do have a partnership with the school district. From what I understand, where we provide actual crossing guards
Yes,
to
sir.
participate with school district crossing guards. These are individuals who help kids cross designated pedestrian crossings in school zones. The fact is that we had a recent incident where there was a crossing guard who tried to slow a driver or stop a driver, and the student was hit in the crossing zone. And I think that when you have speed bumps, it slows them down, plus it keeps them from being distracted, because they're gonna definitely pay more attention. In terms of discussing this with the school district, I have been through the petition process at Bonham and at St. Paul and Washington, and the public school folks supported. They signed the petition when I did approach them. So, and that was with the principal's feedback from the administration, the school district administration, and they supported the speed bump at the Bonham location, which was the first location in my district that I was attending to get speed bumps. So I don't think there's any school district opposition to having this.
Now, these changes would only be for city-owned roadways, not state-owned roadways. The state owns Harrison, Tyler, 77, Loop 499, at Cary, Morgan. So this would only be for
These are
city-owned
primarily for
roadways.
residential schools, being schools that are embedded in residential, in
In
neighborhoods,
residential areas. Yes,
not
sir.
on busy thoroughfares.
Correct.
Are there any technical issues that you think need to be dealt with? I mean, width of streets and lanes of traffic? I mean, you've got
The width of the street, from Marshall Street, for instance, it's a pretty wide street. The cost will increase for that street because we'll have to use more segments of the speed hump. And the more segments you use, the more cost you have. But apart from that, it'd be a good idea to look at this and see how we do a year from now. If it has we think it's going to have a positive impact. If it does, fantastic. We just keep going and keep partnering with the school during budget process for both of us, so that we know what's coming up and how many we anticipate we'll need to purchase every year.
Obviously, logistically, there are going to be areas that are where there's student drop-offs that are busier and more dangerous Obviously, we've got statistical information. We want to look at that, and then we would want to.
Do we need to put something in here about the cost? Do we need, the ordinance is presented, doesn't address the cost issue. I think that's probably a fair thing, to at least share the cost with.
To partner, we were gonna wait to see what happened with the ordinance and then get with the school about, they've always partnered with us, they've been very receptive on the sidewalk project on Rio Hondo Road, for instance. They're paying for all the material, we're installing the sidewalk. We could talk to them, and I don't see why they wouldn't want to partner on something like that.
I would say that we not corner ourselves by putting it in the ordinance that we have to partner with the school district. Obviously, it's taxpayer money in the way you look at it. The fact is that we're budgeting for speed humps already, and whether we want to increase that budget amount or just continue at that same budget level, providing speed humps at the current budget opportunities, which would give us however many a year, and once that budget's been expended, then you just have to wait till the next budget year before you put any new locations out.
I will say that we currently still have 3 of the original 10 that we purchased, Mayor, Commission, and we don't have a budget this year for additional speed humps. So we'll be able to install it.
Then we didn't budget for any of this.
No, sir, because we still have 3 available, 3 sets available.
Curious, what does one of those big old rubber speed bumps cost?
They're just under, if you buy 10, they're about $3,500 a piece
They're a lot cheaper.
for the set. For the set.
Like a sub.
For a 37-foot roadway, about $3,700. $3,500.
Can you explain the benefit of the commission, the difference between humps and bumps?
A bump is a solid border across the street, and that slows everybody down. You're going to hit it, you're going to probably ruin your alignment, but you're also going to slow down emergency vehicles, fire trucks, ambulances, what have you. The speed humps are designed in segments so that a large emergency vehicle like a fire truck can straddle them and not slow down and keep going. That's why we opted to the speed humps and not the asphalt going across, the speed bump.
I'm all, I think it's a great idea. I think it's something that we need to incorporate to address all the concerns Commissioner Lethbridge brought up. And I know staff's always been good about trying to look for partnerships, so I don't think it has to be a direction to you. I think you're already going to be looking at that. It was just a legitimate question on my behalf on whether or not we'd approach the administration, the district-wide administration on this before. That won't prevent us from doing that at this point. It shouldn't hold us back from moving forward with this.
We will still approach them, and we would expect that they'd be pretty receptive to the idea.
Yeah, I think that as soon as we modify this, because up until February of this year, our ordinance didn't even allow for speed humps or speed humps.
Correct.
Okay, sir, can you read the caption, please?
An ordinance of the City of Harlingen, Texas, amending sections 95.56, 95.57, 95.58, and 95.62 of Chapter 95 of the Harlingen City Code as amended to 1, exempt all elementary, middle school speed zones located on city-owned roadways in residential areas from having to comply with the speed hump ordinance eligibility requirements, and 2, provide that upon approval by a majority vote of the Harlingen City Commission, the city may install a speed hump without requiring a petition under section 95.57B of the Harlingen City Code as amended, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and ordaining other matters related to the foregoing.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve with the amended.
Okay, is there a second? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Item 13, consider take action to approve a memorandum of agreement with Texas Homeless Network relating to the provision of personnel for an on-site homeless management information system technical support staff.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Eric Samuels, who is the Director of Continuum of Care for the Texas Homeless Network, approached the City of Harlingen and trying to establish a partnership where they would place an employee here in our offices. They would pay 80% of their salary, 20% would be from the city of Harlingen. It is an eligible CDBG expense because it has to do with the homeless, and the 20% could come from the CDBG grant. If you have any questions, Eric Samuel from the Texas Homeless Network is here, and we would be happy to answer any questions. It is anticipated there'd be about $12,000 max for the CDBG funding portion.
Mayor, I make a motion to take that.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion or any questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Thank you
Thank you.
for bringing this to us. Item 14, consider to take action to approve and adopt a resolution of the City of Harlingen, Texas, endorsing certain legislative action in the regular session of the 83rd Texas Legislature to enhance the competitive electric market and system reliability and to protect the traditional role of cities in the regulatory process.
Mayor,
Mayor, basically, the Texas Coalition of Affordable Powers, of which we are a member of, is requesting that the city adopt this resolution, and basically what it does is a resolution that promotes affordable electricity and opposes law that erodes the local authority and consumer protection. And staff is recommending approval.
Mayor, make a motion that we approve that recommendation.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Are there any board appointments?
Not very.
Mayor, I'd like to reappoint Ronald Thomas to the Harlingen Crowd.
Are there any other board appointments?
I got one more. Ms. Patty Salas, who will go into the Community Development Board.
Great. Any other board appointments? Is there a motion to approve the board appointments?
Thanks.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right, we've been in recess under item 16A. So we're going to go back in on item 16A, but I need a motion on 16B to consult with the city attorney regarding the agreement with White Wings Baseball Club. Is there a motion to go into executive session on that? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, we're back. We're going to go back into executive session, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't, there's no action that will be taken. There's no action listed on the agenda no further action tonight. We'll just have this executive session on these two items, and then we have citizen communication. All right, so we're in executive session. All right. We're out of executive session now, and we have item 20 is citizen communication. No one has signed up, so ladies and gentlemen, we are adjourned. Good night. Thank you. Merry Christmas.